Hi everyone, myself Sangeetha. This session we're going to discuss about locking based concurrency control protocol. So in locking based concurrency control protocol, concurrency control manager only based on the receiving request, he will grant the lock to the transaction. A locking protocol is a set of rules followed by all the transactions while requesting and releasing lock. So locking protocol enforce the serializability concept by restricting the set of possible schedules. So based on the compatibility matrix only, it will allow the transaction to occur the lock. So in this scheduling, if suppose, let me take an example, consider the partial schedule T3 and T4 is there. The T3 lock, exclusive lock on B, read and write. Then there is no unlocking of B with the exclusive lock. That time T4 is requesting A, read lock and reading, then lock for B. Again, it asking lock for B, but the B is already holded by the transaction T3. So without unlocking the lock, the transaction cannot access them. So in that situation, neither T3 nor T4 can make progress. So execution of exclusive lock of SB causes T4 to wait for T3 to release lock on B, while executing lock XA causes T3 to wait for T4 to release the lock on A. So this kind of situation is called deadlock. To handle the deadlock, one of T3 or T4 must be rolled back and its lock should be released. So due to the deadlock, this condition is called as starvation. This is also possible if concurrency control manager is badly designed. So example, the transaction may be waiting for an exclusive lock on item while a sequence of other transaction requests and are granted a shared lock on the same item means the same transaction repeatedly rolled back due to the deadlock because the transaction is already occurred or holded by another transaction. So the data is held by another transaction. So the concurrency manager should be designed to prevent this kind of starvation situations. So there are two-phase locking protocols are there. The protocol which ensures the conflict serial schedule. So one is growing phase and another one is shrinking phase. So that we can say it as a two-phase locking protocol. The growing phase, transaction may obtain locks and may not release. But in shrinking phase, the transaction may release lock and may not obtain the locks. In the shrinking phase, only releasing of lock, but there is no occurring of lock. So this kind of thing is a two-phase locking protocol. In that two-phase locking protocol, there are another type of locking protocols are there, strict two-phase locking and rigorous two-phase locking. Strict two-phase locking, the transaction must hold all the exclusive lock alone till it commit or abort. So it ensures the recoverability and avoid cascading of rollbacks. But in rigorous two-phase locking protocol, the transaction must hold all locks till commit or abort. So transaction can be serialized in either order in which they commit. So here it's showing the diagram in the table showing lock conversions, two-phase locking protocol with lock conversions, growing phase. So can occur lock on B is shared lock and exclusive lock on item and convert as to X upgradation. And at the other point of time, the lock will be released by shrinking phase. The can release the lock on X, yes, and exclusive lock. So there are two phases are there. So that it is called as two-phase locking protocol. And this is a kind of operation or occasion of lock before starting a transaction. So implementation of locking, the lock manager can be implemented as a separate process. A transaction can send the lock request and also unlock request as a message to the lock control manager. The lock control manager replies to a lock request by sending a lock email to lock grant messages. The reply will be sanction messages. The requesting transaction wait until request is answered. So the lock control manager maintain an in-memory data structure called lock table to record granted locks and pending requests. So based on the lock control manager only, it will be processed. So the lock table looks like this. Dark rectangles indicate the granted lock with the light color, blue color representing waiting requests. So lock table also record the types of locks granted and request. Based on that only it allowing new lock on the data item. Thank you so much.